Okay, hi guys, my name is Shelby, and welcome to Voice for the Vanished.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Today's case is on little 5-year-old Dulce Alves, Dulce Maria Alves. She is this gorgeous little girl in the photo, just so cute. And like I said, she is 5 years old, approximately 3.5 feet, 60 to 70 pounds, and she was last seen wearing a yellow shirt with an elephant on it, with some like black and white pants and white heel shoes. Now, I just want to say, if you've never seen my videos before, if this is your first time, or even if you have watched my videos and you know about this case and you think a certain way about it, there is a lot of people who think a certain way about this case. From what I've seen, most of the public idea is that a certain person had something to do with it. And I just want to say that in my videos, I don't want to be biased towards a certain idea of what I think happened. You don't know what happened until you know the whole truth, and no one knows the whole truth considering the fact that someone is missing. There's someone out there who has their own story. So I will just give you guys all the details. I'll give you guys what everyone thinks and the different opinions so you guys can make your own guesses and assumptions. But at the end of the day, just remember that there is a little girl who is missing and there's a family who is grieving, and her safety and her coming home is what is most important in the end. So be the most respectful way about it. Be the most respectful you can. I didn't really say that correctly, but just be respectful when thinking about what you think happened. I know sometimes it sounds rude or hurtful to make assumptions or make conspiracies or thoughts about what happened, but that sometimes is what will solve a missing persons investigation. So do it all you want, but do it respectfully. Always. Not just in this case, always. Okay. That's what I just wanted to say right here. Okay, let's get into her story. On Monday, September 16th, which to the day I'm filming this is about 37 days ago, 5-year-old Dulce Alves disappeared from a New Jersey park named Bridgeton Park. She was with her mother, her little brother, who is just 3 years old, and her aunt, which is her mother's sister. So they were at a local convenience store getting some snacks for the day. I believe the kids were both getting some ice cream, and the adults, at least Dulce's mother, was getting a lottery ticket. There actually is surveillance footage that has been released of this, and everything seems normal. All the kids seem fine, and no one is acting sketchy or off in any way. They arrived to the park, and as most kids do, the young children jumped out of the car and ran to the park. And this was their local park, so everyone felt comfortable and safe there. The mom says that she was sitting in the car, scratching her lottery ticket, about to get out. And from one account, it said that the aunt was out of the car and could see the children. But on another account, the aunt doesn't say she actually witnessed anything happen. So it's a very confusing situation. I don't really know what is the truth, but a lot of people think it is sketchy or weird that the mother was sitting in the car, but it's not like she meant to sit in the car the whole time. You've seen this. You're at your local park, your kids just run off. You know some people there, you see a bunch of people, and I mean, her kids are young. I would probably not do it if I was in her situation, but you can't blame her. It's probably the worst decision she's ever made in her life. She's probably holding so much guilt on herself that I don't think anyone else needs to put it on her. But apparently, she was scratching off her lottery ticket, about to get out, when her young son, who is again 3 years old, came running back to the car crying. Now, he's 3. He can talk relatively somewhat. Every kid is different, though. I've heard that he couldn't really speak words clearly. Also, he's crying. Most 3-year-olds, when they're crying, you have to make them calm down before they can make any sense. But he was pointing towards the park, and when they were asking where Dulce was, he again kept pointing to the park. So I believe they went over in a rush to find her. Um, and this is when it all played out. They looked everywhere, could not find her, and a couple people at the park said they saw her running in back houses, which I believe the park plays out like it's behind a school, and there is basketball courts as well as this playground and houses on another side. So she was running. I'm going to be honest here, the story really doesn't make any sense. Apparently, the little brother had ice cream that someone hit out of his hand and he started crying. Then Dulce started running randomly around. I don't know. This is literally the information I have, though. I wanted to give you guys it all. She just started running somewhere in the back houses around the park. I don't know. And then people also saw her follow a man in a red truck or red car to his car and got in his car. It all is very weird and doesn't really make sense, but they're children. You never know. So I believe it was a young child that gave a description of a red vehicle, so the police have definitely taken that with a grain of salt and checked all vehicles, no matter the color, in the area, but it has been over a month, so the possibility of her being out of the area is so incredibly high. So her mother did call 911 right away. There is a 911 call out. You can listen to it if you want to. Some people think it's sketchy. I don't think it is at all, but I also don't take 911 calls as serious. Well, in the sense of making a police investigation and considering a suspect based on a 911 call. I don't consider them holding so much power as some people do. I kind of correlate them to lie detectors. You never know what someone's going to do in such a state of panic when they have no time to actually understand what is happening and, emotionally swallow all this information. So, I don't know. I tend to take them very, not nonchalantly, but I don't want to take a 911 call and make it so I suspect someone. But I know a lot of people do. So, you guys can listen to it. I think she sounds very panicked, but so do some mothers who have been known to have something to do with their child's disappearance and or murder. The one thing that does confuse me about people suspecting her mother of doing something is she wouldn't have enough time, which I'll give you guys an approximate timeline. Everything is a little bit here and there, but apparently the surveillance footage of them at the local convenience store was after 4 o'clock. And I don't know if there's an exact time for that, but everything I've seen just says after 4 p.m. So at least after 4, Dulce is seen in the surveillance footage looking for ice cream. Everything's fine. She seems fine. She seems completely normal. They arrived at the park, not sure what time, but 4:20 is when Dulce was missing. Like her mother was looking for her at 4:20, very panicked. So in that 20 minutes, which isn't a lot of time at all, and we don't even know the exact time they were at the store, so it could be even less time than that, she was missing. Like, her mother was panicked. I hear it in her voice very much. She just seems worried and scared. Obviously, she doesn't have time to fully develop the emotions that are currently happening. And the 911 call, they don't have an exact time for that either, which I find strange because I know since they've released it, it should have an approximate, or not even an approximate, it should have an exact time. But the one thing that I can see just says 4:45, or says around 4:40 to 5 o'clock, which is a pretty big time gap. So I guess then could be a sketchy part of information, but I think that's just not being relayed correctly. If she called it 4:40, I think that would be a little bit more normal. I mean, 20 minutes still, 20 more minutes, maybe a little bit sketchy, but I don't know. Another part of the information that the public sees as even more sketchy, which I think is even more ridiculous, but I'm not a mother, but I've been around a lot of young children. I have a nephew. But in the 911 call, the 911 operator asks her what she's wearing, and the mother remembers her pants and her shoes, but can't remember exactly what shirt she's wearing. I I don't know. People think it's super sketchy. She immediately says she's wearing flowered pants and white heels, but can't remember exactly what shirt. I don't think it's sketchy at all. I mean, children wear lots of clothes. Also, from what I can tell, she does wear a uniform to school and then probably changed when she got home. Maybe her mom couldn't exactly remember. I really don't think it's that sketchy. I can't remember what my family's wearing, even if I've seen them that day. I wasn't paying enough attention. But take it as you want it. So, about a month after the investigation started, the police released a sketch of this man to the public, and he was not ever named a suspect or even a person of interest, which, if you guys don't know, those are actually two very different things. A suspect is someone who is obviously a suspect to the committed crime, and a person of interest is someone who they just want to speak to, someone who they think has a lot more information, or someone who has crucial information and or facts and or literally anything about the case. So yeah, a lot of people don't know those are two different things. Those aren't the official definitions. Those are in layman's terms. But yeah, he has not been named either of those things. Although I think he should be considered a person of interest because in one article, they actually said he's not a person of interest. He's just a witness, which a witness is completely a person of interest. But considering the possibilities, it's possible that this man is scared to come forward, knows the person, is worried about the consequences of coming forward. But if you know anything, if you know this man, if you know where Dulce is at, if you know literally anything, please come forward. And they have also said that if you are scared of coming forward because you are undocumented, please do not be. They will not have anything to do with ICE or getting you deported. They don't even want to know your legal status. They just want to know information about Dulce. So if that is what you're worried about, please come forward. I don't know if I want to put my opinions here, but I filmed this whole video and really felt not right, not including this fact. Well, it's not a fact, it's in my opinion, but I just feel so strongly about it. So in the surveillance footage, which I'll try and add a photo right now if I can get one, there is a man standing behind Dulce, and he looks so much like the sketch that I'm showing you guys right now. It's kind of creepy, but the police have never said anything about this or commented on it, but I have seen some people in the public notice it. That's where I realized it from, and it's eerie and scary. And I mean, what's the chances of this being a coincidence? I mean, there's a missing child involved. I don't think anything is a coincidence. So I was having some trouble adding the actual surveillance footage. So this is just a photo of it. It's obviously not the best quality, but he's just looking at Dulce as well as her little brother and their cousin, I believe. And it's just eerie and dark, especially knowing what happens to her in the next hour. And the fact that that is the sketch and that is what he looks like who was near her just a couple minutes before is obviously sketchy. Dulce's biological father is not in the United States. He's actually in Mexico. So the mom has said many times that she does not believe he was anyway involved. And oh my goodness, so sorry. I believe the police have been in contact with him and don't think he had anything to do with it or had anyone take her or get her to Mexico, anything like that. So he's kind of off their radar. But as far as the mother goes, she is on the public's radar, as I've said many times. And she did a press conference, which people think is even sketchier. But again, I don't think it is. You can check it out for yourself, make your own assumptions. People think that she is not speaking with many emotions, but I think she's just having trouble speaking in English as she is a Spanish speaking woman normally. And when she's answering the questions in Spanish, although I take a minute to understand what she is saying, she answers with so much more emotions and you can see more of a worry in her face. I think she just feels more comfortable speaking in Spanish, so that when she is speaking in Spanish, she tends to feel more things. As when she's speaking in English, she's more focused on pronouncing everything correctly and getting her words across correctly. But you guys can make your own assumptions, like I said. But again, do it respectfully. The police have taken this case pretty seriously, I would say. There's been so many searches done with dogs, divers, and any bodies of water. They've looked everywhere for her, and it's just terrifying that she has vanished. And nothing's been found of her. No signs, no clues, no leads that have followed through. And it's terrifying. And every single day that goes by, there's less and less of a chance of her being okay. She's definitely not okay emotionally, but the fact that she might not even be alive is terrifying. There's a $52,000 reward for any information leading to her return. That is being donated by many different people, and it's just amazing that the community has come together to gather that amount of money for this little girl and her safe return or any information on her disappearance. As always, if you have any information on Dulce, her possible captor, her possible abductor, or anything that has happened to her, please, please call. I cannot urge you enough. This is so important to you have her return home safely. There's so many missing children in the news who aren't found, and it's heartbreaking. This shouldn't be happening. It really should not be happening. And as I always ask you guys, I don't care who you believe in or what you believe in. If you could just send prayers, good thoughts, good vibes to this family and Dulce, please do. Whatever it is, send some good things their way. They really need it right now. And I hope on everything in the world that she is returned home safely. This beautiful little girl is only 5 years old. Her life is just starting. And I can't get I can't get my words across how much this breaks my heart. Again, my name is Shelby, and thank you so much for listening to Dulce's story. Please share this video, share her photo, share her story. Let's bring awareness to her and her disappearance so that we can bring her home safely. If you want to hear more stories like Dulce's, please check out my other cases. They're all very, very important and really need your attention. And if you want to hear more, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to keep making stories for these people who deserve to have their stories told, and I can keep doing that if you guys subscribe, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you, and I hope you guys are all having a good day. Love you.